Are you tired of paying astronomical rent prices that seem to drain your bank account all while living in an apartment that's, well, pretty
Mid.
You're not alone. In today's video, we're going to spill the beans on how you can tackle your biggest expense, housing. I'm Vivian, your rich BFF and your favorite Wall Street girly, and this is how you can lower your rent and keep more money in your pocket. Before we can tackle the problem, first we have to address, how did rent get so expensive in the first place? The fast growth of rent costs since 2020 derives from a variety of factors, including but not limited to, first and foremost, inflation. Higher costs across the board means landlords pass those higher costs onto you. Higher rent costs contribute to inflation, and the cycle repeats. 2, there's a lack of inventory. There's a shortage of vacant rental properties in general and affordable ones in particular. On top of that, expired rent freezes and discounts. Landlords are making up for all of that money that they lost during the pandemic through rent freezes and steep discounts in urban areas by hiking up prices right now on new units and lease renewals. A shifting workforce. As the pandemic increased the popularity of remote work, deep-pocketed renters kind of just said, see ya, to cities and ended up moving into lower cost of living areas. But this migration increased rents in suburban neighborhoods much more than they lowered them in urban ones, yielding a net increase in rents. And I don't blame people, but there's also just a higher demand to live alone. Prospective renters are increasingly looking for studio and one-bedroom apartments, driving up demand for available housing. And last but not least, there's a lot of barriers to home ownership. Prospective homeowners are remaining renters for a lot longer as they're facing things like higher mortgage rates, high demand and low inventory of existing homes, as well as supply chain disruptions that have made it more expensive to actually build your own home. So say you want to negotiate down your rent. How would you go about doing so? Here is a word-for-word script that you can use.
Dear landlord, my name is X, and I live at X. I'm writing to discuss extending my current lease. That said, as I'm sure you can appreciate, the rental market has softened quite a bit since my last lease signing, and I would need a rent reduction of XYZ from the current rent to the new rent you want to pay to reflect current market pricing.
You're going to do a little research here. Go onto rent.com, Zillow, StreetEasy, etc. to find units like yours and what they're currently priced at. Then you're gonna offer up the low end.
Please let me know if we can discuss by end of the week, as I will be submitting applications to lower priced apartments in the neighborhood if we cannot come to an extension agreement.
This sets a time limit and encourages your landlord to say yes faster, because having an apartment sit empty for even just 1 month could be a lot more expensive than just giving you a small rent reduction. And if you're lazy, you can download this email template free at this URL. And ta-da, they'll definitely agree to whatever your demands are, and you'll get the rent reduction you want and deserve. Just kidding. Did you lose touch with reality for a second? Rental negotiations hardly go that smoothly each and every time, and here's how you're gonna push back if your landlord is not so keen on letting you pay less every single month. First and foremost, you can ask for concessions in other ways. For example, you can ask for a free month out of 12, or 2 to 3 free months out of a 24-month lease. And I know you're wondering, Vivian, isn't this kind of the same thing as just getting a smaller discount each month? No. Landlords and property managers hate lowering rent pricing because they know that it can lead to a slippery slope. If one person gets a rent reduction, another person will want one. But they know that if they offer you a 1-month free concession, they get to keep the monthly rent listed on sites like Redfin, Zillow, and StreetEasy the same, but you'll get what you want and stick around for another year or 2. This is a great ask if your landlord wants to work with you, but they also want to keep optics in their favor. 2, depending on where you live, if you're a renter, you may need to pay a broker fee. This is often the case in New York City, as an example. And broker fees can be anywhere between 8 to 15% of your annual rent. In these cases, if you notice a unit has been sitting around for a while, you can request for the seller to pay the fee instead of you. This is a great way to save on a major housing cost, and many landlords are amenable to this because they, again, get to keep the listed rent the same, even if they are footing a large bill for you. I've personally tried this, and it does in fact work. However, in other places like Miami, traditionally landlords pay the broker fee anyway, so this strategy doesn't necessarily apply to you. So make sure you understand what exactly the norm is in your neighborhood and see if you can use this to your advantage. 3, now on to a point not about negotiation, but more so finding a home sweet home that you can afford but still like. I highly recommend figuring out if you qualify for subsidized housing. In most cases, if your household makes less than 30 to 80% of the median income where you live, you'll qualify for housing assistance. You can learn more here at this URL, and this lets you apply for both public housing and subsidized housing. I'll also put it in the description. On top of that, even if you don't qualify for public or subsidized housing, look for rent-stabilized housing that protects tenants from crazy rent increases. Unlike subsidized housing, these aren't subject to income restrictions. I found a full list of rent-subsidized buildings in New York City through a quick 2-minute Google search, and I'll link it in the description as well. However, if you are not a New Yorker, just Google rent-stabilized housing and whatever city you live in. And last, but definitely not least, consider taking on additional roommates. I know, nobody really wants more roomies, and you've probably heard this before. But living with others can be a huge cost savings, even if it's a little harder. It's important to keep in mind that there are economies of scale when it comes to housing. This just means a 5-bedroom apartment split 5 ways is typically cheaper per person than a 2-bedroom apartment split 2 ways. You can still have your own space, but sharing a kitchen isn't the worst thing, especially if you guys are friendly and plan on sharing some meals. So there you have it. With a bit of knowledge, negotiation skill, and creativity, you can lower your rent and take control of your housing expenses. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, like, and share the video with others who might benefit from these tips. As much as I love having you here watching, I want even more of you to just take action and start your journey towards trying to lower your rent today. One thing to remember is that the worst case scenario is that your landlord says no, and you're no worse off than you were before asking. Make the ask today. What have you got to lose? See you, besties.